Hey Scorpio, how you doing? This is for your sun, moon and rising for July. Sorry, I have crazy hair. It's been a long day. This is your sun, moon, rising for July, for the first week of July. Let's see what you're up to. I'm hearing dodged a bullet. I don't know what it's about, but let's find out. If you're new, welcome, welcome. If you're back again, thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new and hit like if this resonates. Ooh, Scorpio, it's going a bit cray-cray here. Let's calm it down. Here we go. Eight of Swords. First and foremost, I think this comes back down. Mercury retrograde, or the shadow of it is really... It's really stealing my words. Okay, Eight of Swords. I think this is about that dodged a bullet comment I got. I think you were going through a situation that seemed unfair or not right, and you couldn't see why it was that you were going through it, and I think you would have rather it be a different way. But I think if it had have worked out the way you wanted it to, it would have been much worse. I feel like you were divinely protected from whatever was to come, and you were pulled out of the situation for whatever reason. I don't know your situation, but you were blocked away from it. That's what I'm getting from that. So had it have worked in your favor, it might have been much worse. So I feel like maybe a person was pulled away from you for something very specific. Whatever they were going through, whatever they were about to go through, I feel like it would have knocked you off alignment, death. So something had to end. Something had to end for your benefit. So at the time, you may have not have known what it was, and it might have felt really unfair, and you might have been wondering, why is this happening to me? And you weren't getting clear indications of why it was happening, but it was for good reason. I'm hearing that you were protected. And I think that comes down to how powerful you are, Scorpio. The massive shifts that are happening in your life and have been happening over the last 6 months, I've heard, are all very divinely guided, and it's for your path as a light worker. I feel like people, things, jobs, you name it, will be taken away if they're not aligning you to where you need to be. You have a purpose that you need to be fulfilling, Scorpio. Yeah. It's all about your purpose and why you're here. Like, she's working away there, and her focus is just so driven, and that's what Spirit's making you do as well. They're making you become very focused on what you're here to do. I'm seeing in this Death card that she's crying, and it makes no sense. And while he's looking down on her, and it looks really like he looks like he's doing the wrong thing. I'm trying to think of a much smarter word, but it's not coming to me. But if you look at him, he doesn't look as like horrific as you think a skeleton would. It's almost like, I'm doing this for you. I feel like that's what Spirit... And in the background, the sun's shining, and that's where she's sort of being led to. And there's a butterfly here as well, which is rebirth, you know. Okay, we're going to take those two. Okay. So I'm seeing the Five of Cups. Who will do this one first? The Five of Cups is here, and that goes back into this. It's telling me that you had to go through a lot of heartbreak for this situation. But the Knight of Cups is telling me that this is going to end, whether it be a partner coming in, or an apology from someone, or just closure, just your own closure in yourself, that this situation is done. I didn't need it. Maybe this blindfold's coming off now as time's going on, and you're starting to really... I just looked up and see a 444. So if you're seeing fours, I think this is an indication of this situation and what's gone on. I think that blindfold's come off her, and the abundance and the love and everything that's meant to be there is starting to rise up almost within you. It's not even that it might come from another person. It's that you're filling your own cup because you're stepping into your purpose. Whether you're physically doing it or you're just aligning internally, it doesn't really matter. Because our true happiness comes inside before, like, what's that saying where, I think it's a Buddhist saying where he says, I want to be happy. And he's like, remove the I and the want and you get happy. I feel like that's what's happening to you. It doesn't matter what's happening externally anymore. You're feeling it within yourself, which is, it's much more valuable than everything around you falling into place, because as you fall into place, everything will fall with it. But if you can carry that feeling inside you on a day-to-day basis, that's gold. You've won the lottery. Okay, I thought we were done with this deck, so I put it down. So it's like, nope, pick it back up. So let's keep going, Scorpio. Let's keep going. I want to send a ton of love to you, Scorpio. Like, of all my watches and all my views, I get the most love from Scorpio, which makes a lot of sense. I have some of my most favorite people are Scorpios. I wouldn't be able to get through my day without a very few special Scorpios that I have. Okay, we have the Page of Wands. I feel like there have been people around you that have been quite sneaky, quite sly, and then at the same time I feel like this is you being very calculated on where you're giving your time, who you're giving your time to. The word cunning's coming up, but it's not in the negative term. It's that blindfolds come off and you're seeing and you're being decisive with how you move forward in situations. Judgment. That's what I'm saying. You're and you're also seeing the duality in things as well. I'm hearing you're seeing the good and bad are not good and bad anymore. They're just experiences, and you're starting to realize that while things happen in your life and they may be uncomfortable, they're always shifting you towards something bigger. I feel like spiritually you've really leveled up, and that's what's happened. And as I say that, the Temperance card comes out. And I think this has come from healing as well. So energetically, you, whatever you healed, you made space and brought in new energy that has leveled you up. Look at that big old eye. So some of you, your third eye might be just tingling away lately. If you're feeling headachy around the front here, that's just you activating. I love tarot, man, I do. The Magician. This is you creating your life. This is you coming into your own, but it's not a coincidence. This is your team. This is you. It's meant to be. It's magic. But you've used tools to get you here. Tools you've learnt along the way. Heartache, trauma, trials, tribulations, all those things have become tools for you to keep stepping forward. I want to get some more information on the Temperance, because I feel like this is really moving towards my first readings of the month are just general, but this one's really moving towards a spiritual reading. So the Four of Wands have come up. This is a mix between a celebration, because woohoo, you've leveled up. Sorry, still suffering from a cold here, guys. But it's also the foundations of your spiritual abundance. It's moving from one level to the next level. It's laying the groundwork. So I do know of people who have gone from like 0 to 100 spiritually, and the middle work wasn't done, and it was, sorry, surprise cough. The middle work wasn't done, and they were left very overwhelmed. It was a very scary time for them. I feel like with you, I'm not saying that it was a slow process or anything like that. The work was done in between. So it doesn't matter how much time you've been on this path for. You could have been awake 6 months. You could have been awake 6 years. But with you, Scorpio, you've done the work to level up. You didn't just like accidentally open your third eye or anything like that. You opened each chakra as you healed, is what I'm hearing. The Temperance card flipped up on the Temperance. The healing was done. I feel like you've got to a stage of being patient with it as well. Whereas in the past you wanted it overnight, and while you still may get frustrated, I feel like you're patient enough to know that what's coming for you is coming in divine timing. You have, okay, so we're moving on to another message here. That's done. Spirit's like, enough waffling. You're letting people go. You're letting burdens go. You're letting things that no longer serve you go. So if there were people around you in the past that have put a lot of pressure on you to be a certain way, act a certain way, you're coming out, is what I'm hearing. So you're coming out of the spiritual closet. You've got to a stage where you're like, I don't care. I don't care if what you think I'm doing is wrong. I don't care if what you think I'm doing is crazy. I don't care if I sound crazy. I'm coming out. I've got that song. I wish I could sing because I'd sing it to you, but that I'm coming up song, it's playing in my head. So you're putting these down, and the next card to come up was just one wand. Rather than 10 wands, just one wand. And I feel like that's you. You're carrying your wand. As I'm saying this as well, we're jumping to another message. Sorry, guys, they're very quick today. Sexually awkward, but you're really coming into a new phase in your sexual life. I feel like sexuality for you is becoming not so much a physical act, but a healing act as well. I'm hearing sexual healing. The Ace of Wands, for me, always is a very phallic card. I don't have to state the obvious. You can see the card. Your root chakra has been activated. And I feel like moving forward now some of you, I'm hearing celibate as well, so some of you may have been celibate a while, and there is someone coming in that you may be wanting to sort of break that celibacy for. Go ahead and do it, is what I'm hearing. This is okay to jump into. You've learned how to maneuver your energy in such a way that you won't be giving more of yourself during sex, and I'm seeing a flow of energy, so it'll be flowing from one person to the next, whereas I feel like in the past, and maybe this is why you had a bit of time being celibate, sex didn't have that sort of energetic quality to it for you. It's different now. It'll be different now. The Spirit's saying you can trust that. I mean, obviously use your own intuition and guidance, but I'm sure this is for someone very specific. So, ooh. Okay. So this is a completely different message altogether. We have the Five of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So if there are Scorpios right now that are in situations where there's angst, where there's I don't feel like this is physical fighting. I feel like this is more thoughts towards people. People are making me feel X, Y, and Z. I feel you not so much walking away and cutting those people off. I feel like it's more, I'm choosing not to take that energy on. I'm choosing not to bite at that. I'm choosing not to energetically entertain their crap, is what I'm hearing. I've got better things to give my energy to, is what I'm hearing. So you're not going to cause a big scene. You're not going to carry on. You're not going to cut them out of your life. You're not going to do anything dramatic. You're just going to be like, meh, and, and be done with them. Sometimes people will only ever hear you on the level they can hear you on. So you can fight till you're blue in the face. You'll never get anywhere with that situation. You're best to just smile and wave. Checking if there's anything we need to clarify. Everything's been pretty self-explanatory. This Page of Wands come up. The Star. This is a very abundant filled month for you, Scorpio. While we haven't spoke a lot about it in the cards, although we have, when you start to align you start to align with everything in your life. And I feel like this is what's happening for you right now, Scorpio, and this is this wish fulfilled. So I know a lot of you have these dreams and these spiritual type dreams, you know, where you want to get out of this rat race and you want to move on to bigger, better things that feed your soul. That's what this star is. It's hope. It's hope that this won't be this way forever. I know a lot of you have been going through a lot of clearing lately. It's hope for that as well. It's letting you know that you won't stay in that space, that you are clearing out and moving on to bigger, better things, like the Ace of Wands, for instance. Okay, Death. The Scorpio card, it's come up twice, and the Wheel of Fortune. And that's pretty much everything I say to you is just coming out in the cards. We're just beating a dead horse here. But the Wheel of Fortune's come up, and that's just the karmic cycles. That's just the clearing. I'm pretty sure we might have spoke about this in the last reading I did for you, and I'm pretty much speaking about this in everyone's reading, because that's where we're energetically on the earth at the moment. We're clearing out cycles, and they're ending. They're ending. So I'm wondering what cards will come up next. Let's see what the message and the cards will follow. Okay, so one of the cycles that are being cleared right now is the lack mentality. And I know we all have it. This isn't just you, Scorpio. You know, we were all raised from generations of you've got to save and you've got to prepare. And while they're all great things, it created this real lack mentality, this not enough. There was never enough. And then when we got enough, we didn't know what to do with it and tried to get more, or just spent it on things. This is what this Four of Pentacles is showing for me, is he's so worried about losing that he's holding everything in tight. And this isn't just financially, this is in general. So I'm hearing there are a few of you with gifts, spiritual gifts, that need to be stepping out of their comfort zones and offering those to people. Not for free, I'm not saying for free, but with an energetic exchange, of course, whether that be money or bartering. But don't hold your gifts in tight. There are people out there who will really benefit from them. I feel like you don't know you're worth enough, and you're almost thinking, oh, no one needs what I've got, or there's plenty of other people that do it. But Spirit's telling me very clearly that there are people in need of your message. We all have specific messages. Even me as a reader, I'm not everybody's reader. I won't get everyone's message. We all have gifts for specific people and different soul contracts. So there are people out there waiting for your gifts, is what I'm hearing. So if you're holding back, it's time, Spirit's saying. Okay, that was too many. We're gonna have a look at what they are, and then this deck's done. So Queen of Pentacles, and this is abundance. And we've got the Nine of Pentacles, and together that makes 10 Pentacles, which tells me this is the month you're fulfilled. The Three of Wands, plan, strategize, and we're going back to now. I know why this Page of Wands has come up, is being strategic in your plans moving forward, and moving forward. And the more you push forward, the more you'll leave behind what you no longer want. Now, I'm going to, while this isn't specifically a love reading, we all want to know about love. I'm going to pull for singles, couples, and separated from the Romance Angel deck. Okay, singles. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So I don't know, some of you must have someone in mind if there's feelings there. Couples, free yourself. It's time to take control of your life. So if you've maybe got into that point in a relationship where your life has become their life and it's just become all enmeshed and you've forgotten who you are, this is the card for you. And separated. Ooh, deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Now, for separated, that could just mean that they've got their guard up. You're not seeing what's really going on inside. You're not seeing their emotions. I'm hearing stoic, so they're being very stoic. I'm also hearing that they feel a lot more than they're telling you, and they want this back a lot more than they're telling you. Pride is getting in the way. Now, just before we go, since this was so spiritual, I want to pull one of these, just as a collective reading to end, if one comes out. There we go. Deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, and be held. And be held by the universe, it's saying. But this is perfect. And look, the little old moon up there. With this new moon we're heading into, it's a time of dark, and new moon eclipse at that. It's a time of darkness to retreat and be still and hear what's going on inside us. So I think it is a time of deep replenishment, Scorpio, and you're going to really come out of it quite shiny, I feel. All right, Scorpio, this is your first week of June reading. I hope you enjoyed. Mwah.